They will kick your to the curb sooner than look at you. These would throw their own mother under the bus.
Put your feelings aside, give that wild side a try. I'm not that girl.
Why do some people ghost you? Just remember, this video is coming from my own perspective and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. So if you've not heard of the term ghosting, perhaps you've experienced it, but not actually realized there's a term for such a behavior. So let me explain. Ghosting is basically when someone cuts you off with no explanation whatsoever. They're basically all up in your grill one minute and then they wipe you with seemingly no rhyme or reason the next. I personally think there could be quite a few factors in someone discarding you for seemingly no reason, and I'll get into that in a minute. But say in the chance that someone did do something worth ending the relationship, the friendship, the acquaintance, connection, whatever. I can only assume if someone has wiped someone without giving any justification for it, they may well think that the other person knows what they've been given the bum's rush for. Or they may be just that disgusted, that hurt, or just that completely done that they don't think the other person deserves an explanation. I myself have made this call before, and they may well think if they believe that the other person knows what they've done, that it's up to them to come after them to fix it. Or perhaps they've completely severed ties because they don't want it fit. I know me, I've severed ties without warning or explanation. I've no doubt that the people I've wiped have played stupid to others about why too. But I know full well they know what they did. Because it went on for months and it was blatantly obvious to more than myself that they were being arseats. Once upon a time I would have been confrontational if I'd have seen with my own eyes proof that someone was talking behind my back, or secretly competing with me and shooting me down with their passive aggressive bullshit. I may be a lot of things, but I ain't no fool. As I've told you before, I can read someone's energy before they even show their face. If I cut someone off without warning, mark my word, they handed me the scissors. And those I mentioned definitely handed me the scissors. Life is too short for petty bullshit. And if someone's pulling that rot with me, you can bet your I'm not going to waste another minute with them. I don't want to see them or their bullshit. What I am going to do is cut the off them and their flying monkeys doing the bidding for them. Sometimes people ghost others because, well, they are really bad at confrontation, especially if they feel the other person won't take it well at all. The thought of conflict and potential anger directed towards them makes them sick to the stomach, so it's easier for them to just cut the cord. Perhaps they feel the person is too pushy or invasive or is crossing their boundaries, and they feel ghosting is the only way to regain control. I know I will certainly back away from this kind of person. Perhaps they hope the other person won't really notice. Or by blocking or ignoring, they'll just take the hint and back away. Or perhaps forget about them completely. Perhaps they want to spare both sides humiliation, embarrassment, preferring to just step back in the hopes the connection just peters out. In some instances, they may have been checked out for a while and knowing it's going nowhere, decided to make a clean break. In some circumstances, perhaps they feel the relationship, whatever it may be, has become toxic and it's safer to just run for the hills. If the person they have severed ties with is prone to become aggressive or violent, perhaps it's fear for their own safety too. Sometimes people just don't consider us or rate us as we do them. And what they're doing is hurtful because the absence of us wouldn't hurt them. A hard truth sometimes with some people. Sometimes these people are gullible as too, and they wipe others because of something someone else has said to them. They don't bother to fact check, they just sever ties. There are people out there that just love lying about people and causing trouble. And unfortunately, there are mindless buffoons that believe everything they hear. But sometimes these mindless buffoons are as innocent as we were too. And they take this person at face value like we did, but they've yet to be the star. Those of you who've watched a ton of of my videos know my stance on narcissists, and have most probably watched my videos on them too. A narcissistic person is someone that will love you to pieces one day, and they could love bomb in the World Olympics. They are so proficient at it, but they will kick your ass to the curb sooner than look at you. These would throw their own mother under the bus if it meant saving their own skin. It's all about power to these people too. Nothing, and I mean nothing you did, caused this, unless you came close to figuring them out. These people go through friendship like hot dinners. I'm going to tell you a little story about one a good friend and I encountered a few years ago. This person completely pushed their way into our circle. Love bombed us, showered us with promises of undying love and devotion, right up until the discard. This person also saw themselves as God's gift to anything with a pulse. Let's just say couldn't be faithful if their life depended on it, to friendships or relationships. I personally always had my guard up with this person. There was just something that was a little off to me. I've dealt with their kind before, and in truth, nothing quite added up to me. I told them nothing and took everything they said with a grain of salt. But I was always kind to them, and I did try to like them. But they were always the victim or the hero of every story. And they'd go from someone so wronged to someone very vengeful in a blink. The fallouts behind this person was huge. They were forever opening new Instagram accounts with the excuse too many people pursuing them. God's gift, remember? They'd fallen out with family and all their friends, and it was always someone else's fault. It always seemed very far-fetched to me, but I observed that very quietly. My friend, however, I've since learned, had yet to encounter these kinds of people and forever gave them the benefit of the doubt. Even when momentarily she'd thought, hang on, this person would one day be putting others down to the ground privately, and then the next day kissing their openly. It was quite sickening. These people, we'd noticed, became very cold and offstandish with us too, even though we both knew we'd never said a cross word about them. In fact, we defended their honor. Well, it didn't take long to figure out what was going on. This person was playing them against us. One day this person was declaring their undying friendship. The next day we were blocked on everything. Funny thing is, it wasn't until after this happened that, well, we started to connect the dots. People ghosted us. These people were now right in with this evil, calculated person without the slightest inkling that this person did nothing but dog them and repeat their business. Moral to the story, some people wipe people because they have hidden agendas and much to hide. This person knew that we could unravel their lies if we'd been troublemakers, so they had to discard us without word or warning. And anyone who just wipes someone or participates in slinging others based off of hearsay is just as bad, and good riddance to them. These kinds of people are like storm clouds. When they off, it's a beautiful day. Unfortunately, some people are completely devoid of empathy for others, and when you are no longer to their benefit, they'll block your ass quick as lightning to avoid any backlash. And without having to face any repercussions, they don't have to fear having guilt or having to admit any wrongdoing because they'll be too busy pouncing elsewhere. These people often have low emotional intelligence and zero consideration or awareness of other people's hurt or suffering. So long as they can go through life unscathed, they are happy. Compassion for others is, well, just not on their radar. Often these people are nothing more than cowards too. They completely lack the courage to do the right thing when someone is completely undeserving of this treatment. They can't bear the thought of feeling guilty, and by being honest and upfront, it's less likely face to face they can avoid that. Their reasonings are piss and they know it. So ultimately, they take the weak way out because that's exactly what they are, weak. It's seldom we will ever get truth and the deserved respect from emotional cowards. They typically have run from anything that demands accountability from them their whole life. And breaking off relationships, friendships that deserve explanation with the truth would be more than they could commit to. When someone does this to another without reason or warning, it's not only hurtful but bloody well disrespectful too. They say what goes around comes around. Well, these kinds better run for for it because they often leave a lot of carnage and destruction in their wake. No one might owe us a damn thing, just as we do not owe them a damn thing either. But this should not give these kinds of people free rein to go around using people for their own gain. Manipulative sticks of the highest caliber when it's calculated and with full intent and disregard. I believe there are legit reasons to ghost another, just as I believe there are abhorrent reasons to ghost another. Ghosting someone who's broken your trust, betrayed you, or harmed your character in any way, then I say good for you. Slam that door shut and lock every bolt on it. Sometimes we care so much for others who don't reciprocate, and the only way to move forward is to ghost them as if they don't exist. People that have played us, used us, run hot and cold with us, or simply made no time for us. Sometimes self-preservation is absolutely imperative and completely necessary. Those you've been nothing but good to, those you've given until you can give no more, those that forever leave you wondering where you stand, those that have made you feel beneath them no matter how much you've given. It says so much more about them than it does about you. Those that will happily take from you, then wipe you like you're yesterday's news. These are not good people. They are emotionally immature, self-absorbed, and in the long run, no loss. Sometimes it takes getting hurt by people to realize they weren't meant for us all along, to see they've been all about them all along too. If someone has ghosted you, wiped you without good reason, treat you like count your blessings every single day, you dodged their bullet. You no longer have to take their hits. If you found value in this video, then please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Stay awesome. Now go get what's yours.
Break out of your shell, meet me halfway.